Hello and welcome once again to Tekkit Lite Crash Course. Last episode we started the beginnings of our dream warehouse, well, my dream warehouse. As you see, I have expanded it to a single array. So all of these barrels here will eventually be full of stuff. I did a little work off air as well. I took my gray dump chest out of the current warehouse and set it up to dump things into my ejector, and then the ejector will spit them into the array. So I'm going to start unloading my chests into the ejector. And while that's happening, I'm going to think of something else to show you. Let's see, grab my ender pouch here. Grab my oak saplings. Up in there, they'll be taken away and then sent into the new warehouse setup. Let's see. I did have something else in mind. Yes, that's right, automatic crafting. Something else you can do with the logistics pipes. We can actually do it with regular BuildCraft stuff as well. In fact, a lot of it is based in BuildCraft. But you can create what's called an Autocrafting table. The Autocrafting table is something, it's basically a device you can pipe items into it with crafting pipes. And then it'll automatically assemble ingredients into completed items, which would then be piped away by more BuildCraft pipes. There's actually an upgraded version called the Mark II, which we won't be worrying about this time. But the Mark II can also interact with pneumatic tubes, which we talked about previously. The Autocrafting table cannot interact with pneumatic tubes. So we're going to just be doing the Autocrafting table, which means I'm going to need some wood. Because we're going to need some wooden gears. And I've already made sticks for those, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so we have our auto-crafting tables. We're going to take these downstairs eventually. First, we have to take these basic logistics pipes and do something else with them. I'm going to run over to the workshop here. We're going to turn them into what's called crafting pipes. The crafting logistics pipe basically feeds auto-crafting tables or automatic crafting tables Mark II, whichever you may have. Don't want that, I want the basic pipe. I want 8 of these, so we'll leave 2 of those behind. Because we're going to put 8 of these in a row to build our gears for us. Do I have my extra pipes? Yes, I do. So we're going to need the stone transport pipes. Basically, this is all going to be part of the same network, and you will see why. I'm going to send some more stuff into the array here. Let's just keep that thing busy for a little while. Now, it will take a while to actually unload all this stuff because there's a lot of it, and I've got it ticking at once per second because that's just a tiny bit faster than what the redstone engine can pull out of the chest here, so it's going to be a little while. Anyway, to use the crafting pipes, first we extend our network a little bit. We're going to take a stone transport pipe a couple steps out and then make a row of these crafting logistics pipes. Crafting logistics pipes, again, they lay down just like the other pipes. Got an array 8 long. I probably could have set it up a little better, but again, this is not the final warehouse. This is just for demonstration purposes. Take our auto crafting tables, lay them out like so. Now, I mean, I didn't actually discuss the auto-crafting tables. They're made with the regular crafting table and 4 wooden gears apiece. So they're pretty cheap to make. And since these guys work with them anyway, I'm going to stick with it. So I'm going to need a bit of rubber wood. I'm just going to go ahead and toss that into the array here, because we're going to need that. I'm also going to need some iron in the array. Toss that in there. I need some stone in the array as well. So toss that in there. And I also need some gold in there. The astute among you probably understand what I'm doing already. Or just people who know what auto crafting tables and crafting pipes can do. But for those who don't, this is something that I've been waiting to show you forever. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to take this back down here. I'm going to toss these into the array as well. Wait, did I just... Yeah, I did. Oops. Yeah, I don't want to take up more than one chest with any specific item. It's working away. I love it. Automation for the win. So, once again, we're going to need our wrench to configure these guys. What each of these guys does, if we actually have some of the ingredients that we need here. Oh yeah, what each of these guys does, basically you tell it what's going to be going into the auto crafting table. The auto crafting table, it looks like a regular crafting table, but you can pipe stuff into it all by its lonesome, which is cool. And I believe that first... Oh, that's the requester that I'm using. So, we want rubber wood to go in this one. Because with rubber wood, it's made sticks. Now you do have to tell it what goes in and what goes out. They do have to be programmed. They're not that bright, but, I mean, they're bright enough for my purposes. So, I mean, and you might want to use, like, regular wood instead of actual sticks. So it's... Now, I think... If I have this correct, if I go over here to the requester pipe... Oh, that's right. I can't use the requester pipe. If I use my requesting item, and I notice sticks appears as 0 here, because there are none in the network yet. But if I say request 8 of them, it should actually send some of this rubber wood down to here, and completely screw up. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Here, let's toss one of these rubber woods on here. Ah, there it goes. Okay. So you actually have to put the recipe on the table as well. You don't just, you know, tell the pipe to deliver it. Because if you just tell it to deliver it, it's going to spit it back out. But if you actually put the recipe on the table, it'll supply fresh ingredients for that recipe. So let's try this again. As you can see, there are currently 8 sticks in my chest. Say I need 8 more. Okay, request. They'll send wood down to the auto crafting table, and then should send the sticks back along the line to here. So there we go. Automatic crafting. Now say you didn't want to do it that way. Say you wanted to use wood instead. You only needed 4 at a time, because say you wanted to make gears. All you gotta do is run back up to where you have some wood, or just grab it from your chest, because you don't need to go all that way. I don't know what happens with, like, conflicting recipes for these things. I just never looked into it. So I'm just going to take this guy out of here. Put my oak wood planks in there. And don't forget, if you change any of the recipes, to change the inputs. Like, we no longer want rubber wood in there. And we're only going to get half as many sticks out of here. So just tell it to send in 2 wood. Go to the table. You have the recipe on the table. So when we request sticks this time, if we have wood actually in the network. Actually, no. First I'll show you what happens if we don't have wood in the network. So say I want some sticks. 10 sticks. Request sticks. It tells you that you're missing the crafting ingredients, which is amazing. Maybe over-exaggerating it a little bit, but you get the idea. So say we toss our wood in here, and say I just want 4 sticks. Request. Go to request my sticks, send them into the chest, and there they are, along with all the other sticks I've been ordering. So then, what we can do, which is why I set this up, go on down the line, make every single step of these gears. So I'm going to need some more stone. Okay, like all good things, that did require a good bit of setup, but now, anytime I need a frickin' gear, all I gotta do is order one. Now, I'm a bit short of cobblestone, so I'm gonna go grab some of that and toss that into my system real quick. Just be a moment. So yeah, just take your remote order, right-click. As you can see, it says I have none of these in the system. I also have no sticks. All I have is some wood. So say, for some bizarre reason, I need 1 diamond gear. So my quantity to 1, hit request, and apparently I need a log. What do I need for that? Hang on. Oh, I need them 4 diamond. Alright, I gotta actually grab my diamonds real quick. Be right back. So now that we have everything actually in place, when I need a single diamond gear, I just hit the request button. Watch all the ingredients race down this pipe into these crafting tables, and we watch our diamond gear swing back to our bag. There it is. Diamond gear. Simple, easy, automatic. No more standing at my table for 10 minutes making frickin' gears. Hooray for logistics, and hooray for auto-crafting tables. Now, you might have seen me struggle a bit there during the fast forward with the auto-crafting tables. One thing I didn't know about the basic auto-crafting table is that it actually, you have to leave the ingredients on there. With the automatic crafting table Mark II, you just draw out the recipe, and it doesn't actually take your ingredients. So, there's probably a more efficient way to actually go through and set that up, but once it's set up, it stays. It's frickin' amazing. And you set those up, I mean, you notice they'll obviously chain off of each other. And, I mean, any recipe you need. Torches, redstone, complex devices. Heck, this will even work with furnaces, so you can set it up to automatically smelt things for you. which I do intend to do later. That'll be probably another episode later on. I'll be setting up to automatically send things to macerate, and then automatically smelt things for me, which will be super duper cool. Not much else to say, really. I mean, you know, automatic crafting, super awesome. All of this stuff, which is great. Remote ordering, which I discussed last episode. I'm going to get this stuff moved from in there to out here, off camera. Is this all going the same way? I hope so. If not, I'm boned. I gotta charge my jetpack. Anywho, I'm gonna call it an episode. This one's probably a bit shorter than the last one. I don't actually know how it's gonna edit out. But we're gonna call it a night. Or a day. A rainy, dreary day. So that's all. Night, everyone. Okay, just a quick public service announcement. I was actually in error, and a pretty grievous error it was. I had said that the pneumatic tubes would send an item to the closest available inventory and only to the closest available inventory. Well, I never actually tested it as a two-dimensional array. So when I started unloading things into my new system, it sent it to the basically the closest points linearly. So it sent it to 2, 3, even 5 different locations every time I put a new item in there. So it works a lot better with linear systems. I would take this, make it into like a spiral using colored pneumatic tubes. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Or just make it like enormous lines, like line your walls with just tubes and barrels. And that way it'll go across each barrel and enter each one that way. I think I might repaint this to be a spiral, but in order to paint your pneumatic tubes, you need, where are they? You need paint cans, basically green paint and also paint brushes. Might as well go over ahead and make those quickly here. Let me get to my workshop because I think that's where I have my tin plates. Okay, to make the bucket for the paint, you first need tin plate. To make tin plate, you put iron and tin together in the alloy furnace. It takes 2 iron, 1 tin to make a single tin plate. Once you have your tin plate, you arrange it in a U on the project table, and it makes an empty paint can. You take your empty paint can, and you should do this in your regular inventory. Place it here with 2 flax seeds. Now, this doesn't have to be in a specific order, but it has to be flax seed, and then any color. So cactus green, dandelion yellow, what have you. And basically once you do that, you'll end up with these paint cans. Now what you do with these paint cans is first you go and grab some wool. Grab wool and 1 stick. Lay them out like so, and you end up with a paint brush. And then to get the color on the paint brush, you take the paintbrush and your paint can and put them together and get a colored paintbrush. And then what you can do with these colored paintbrushes, let me request up some of my pneumatic tubes. Let's just lay out some pneumatic tubes. Now normally these just form a square, a little grid. But if you paint them, notice that they're color-coded but still connected. If you paint them 2 different colors, they separate, which is what you'll need to do if you have it laid out like I do in order to separate them and make the system more linear. Now, my system's still not perfect. It'll still try to drop it into 2 places at once. I intend to paint it in a spiral. That way it is, in fact, linear. But again, my bad. Don't listen to the words that I said when I said that it would automatically send it to the correct place. Now, once the inventory is full, if the system is linear, it'll drop it into the first barrel that has that item in it. It won't automatically seek out the barrels, however, so it might try to go to different levels, too. This has been a public service announcement. My apologies. I'll show you my finished product in a later episode. Have a nice day.